Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining and welcome back to Wall Street Bullion. Our guest today is Alan Hibbard, co-host at Gold Silver. Alan, thanks for joining us.
Hey, Ivan, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming down. It's a huge pleasure. This is your first time coming down to the channel. So before we get into everything in the markets, briefly explain how did you get into the precious metals market and what you're doing right now.
Yeah, so I guess it started when I was a teenager. I sort of wondered, like, what is the dollar? Like, why does it have any value whatsoever? That sent me down a rabbit hole where ultimately I found Hidden Secrets of Money with Mike Maloney.
hmm
And fast forward a lot of years, and ultimately now I'm working alongside him on the channel. So he's been a huge mentor and role model. And yeah, so I'm interested in gold and silver because they're honest money. And really, I thought, why don't I have access to honest money, as a teenager, and why doesn't everyone in America and around the world have this? So that's sort of been my journey, and now I'm just an educator in the space, hoping to spread that message.
Now, in the past year, there's been a lot of excitement and a lot of movement happening in precious metals, silver, gold, platinum as well. But specifically for gold and silver, we've had this tremendous run, but in the past, day or so, you're seeing a correction take place. Silver got knocked under $50 after making that all-time high. What do you think is happening right now in the precious metal space?
Well, broadly speaking, we're seeing a return to honest money. That's really what's happening after several decades of ignoring it, central banks selling it, from 1980 to the year 2000. There was a 20-year bear market in both metals. And, since the year 2000, so roughly 25 years, gold has outperformed the stock market, for example. And that's because, sound money is coming back into the public consciousness slowly but surely. And what we've seen lately in 2024, 2025, with these big run-ups in both gold and silver, we're seeing basically a physical shortage. So not only is there strong buying from central banks in the case of gold, and strong buying from institutions and companies in the case of both gold and silver,
hmm
but the retail sector is starting to get involved, and like all that buying pressure is chasing a smaller and smaller amount of actual physical metal. So we're seeing a silver squeeze, and we're seeing an absolute explosion in the price of both metals. So really, that's what's happening, to sum it up in just a few sentences.
Hello, my fellow silver and gold stackers. Please hit the like and subscribe button. It will really help the silver and gold community grow. It'll help this channel grow, and I'd really appreciate it. Back to the video. So, if there is, like you're mentioning, a silver squeeze or even like a precious metal squeeze on gold and silver, can that send prices of silver to all new highs? But there's been a lot of talk, Alan, in the past about spoofing and the manipulation in silver and gold prices. Do you think that's still happening, or is it harder and harder for these days for these players to spoof the price of silver and gold?
Yeah, it's a good question, and I wish I had a reliable answer for you. It's just so hard to get data on this stuff.
Right.
And so we can sort of deduce, I mean, of course, we can understand the incentives of the major players, the banks and so forth. We know that they want to keep the price of both metals down. That basically helps their fiat agenda. It helps them maintain control over the population, over the money supply, and so forth. It doesn't take a leap of imagination to understand why they would want to do that, or the fact that that's kind of their primary incentive in the business that they're in. So how effective is their ability to spoof? I don't know. It's very hard to quantify or put a number to it. However,
hmm
we can understand that eventually it will run out. It has to. And we're seeing glimpses of that now. And as we get more and more people who are interested in taking physical delivery of gold and silver, that makes the pile shrink further and further and gets us closer to sort of an unstoppable force moving against them, that upward buying pressure on physical. And we're getting there now. So, can that make the price go exponential? Absolutely. I think it
hmm
will. I think that's kind of the only way out of this. It sort of has to happen that the price of both metals measured in fiat is going to explode. It's going to double, triple, quadruple from where it is now. So it's only a matter of time. And the market can remain irrational longer than you can remain solvent if
hmm
you're levered. So that's why you don't use leverage, and that's why what they get into trouble is because they're levered, of course. So everything's a promise that they have. So they will get into trouble, and anyone who just takes a long position and waits, they'll be okay.
What have you learned that sticks out to you from, your time at Gold Silver or your time with Mike Maloney? What sticks out with you from his teachings?
A lot of things. Man, he knows so much. Like he and I have just spent hours on the phone together, and he's just a wealth of knowledge, telling me about things that have happened through history, just different stories of what happened in the 70s. Of course, he was alive then and I wasn't. All these different things throughout history, and he's read so many books and he's just lived through it all. So I don't know if it's necessarily one thing, but it's actually so many things that I don't even have them cataloged specifically in my brain.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a lot, but it's ultimately boiling it down to keeping things simple. It's so easy to get distracted and overcomplicate things, but it's like I said a minute ago, if there's only so much physical metal there, you know that if an increasing demand chases a shrinking supply, basic economics say that the price is going to go up. If you're trying to pick a particular price target, that's anybody's guess. And you have to know as much about the dollar as you do about the metal itself. And of course, you and I don't control the dollar. That's central banks. So yeah, what have I learned from Mike? Just keep things simple. Keep reading. You can learn more about the future by understanding the past, not so much the present. So read old books, read things that are 50 years old, 100 years old, and you can start to predict the future better than people who are watching today's news. So yeah, some great lessons from him.
Absolutely. Now, what would you say to someone, Alan, who's, let's say who's a teenager watching this video and saying, I want to get into precious metals, I want to get into silver and gold. They have no idea where to start. What would kind of be your guidance for them?
Yeah, I would say follow your passion. Go to YouTube or Google or ChatGPT or whatever and just start typing in questions that you have and just follow your curiosity. And
Yeah.
if it leads you to podcasts or books or videos, just embrace it and go there. When I was in college, I started out well as a physics major and then a mechanical engineer. And I had this epiphany like, oh man, I really need to understand money because even if I earn a lot as an engineer, I have to know how to save it and invest it and protect it. Otherwise, I'll
Hmm.
just lose it, right? I'll just be
Right.
poor like everyone else. So I switched my major to finance, thinking that I would learn about money, and I learned practically zero doing that. So it's a good thing that at the same time, I was also on YouTube. I learned from Mike Maloney. I read some books, listened to podcasts. So my advice to young people is just follow your curiosity and just follow your instincts and don't prejudge your own path or your own learnings. Don't put yourself down. Don't think that some type of knowledge is only for other people. No, it's for you. It's absolutely for you. Just follow your passion, follow your curiosity, and you'll end up where you need to be.
Do you ever believe that we'll get back to a gold standard?
Yeah, actually, and it may happen sooner than we think. So, if you look at Trump and the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, they both like gold. They both like
Yeah.
the idea of a gold standard. And Bessent has said that he believes a new Bretton Woods is going to happen in the next 4 years. He said that shortly before Trump was elected, most recently. So, if he thinks it's going to happen during the Trump administration, then we absolutely could get back to a gold standard, in the next 3 to 4 years. So, I think that's reasonably likely. I don't know if I would say over 50%, but it's certainly pretty high. It's 30, 40% at least, which is very, very high. And if you asked me that more than a year ago at any other time in my life, I would have said no time soon. So we're absolutely moving in that direction pretty quickly. And I think it's not just the United States, it's a lot of other countries that would benefit from it and want to see that as well. China, especially, they've been hoarding gold voraciously. So
Yeah.
they would benefit probably the most from a gold standard, but everyone benefits from it. So I think it's going to happen.
There's about $15 trillion worth of physical gold in the world sitting there costing money rather than being used. Is just absolutely insane. Monetary metals is bringing gold back into the financial world, putting gold to productive use right now. The problem with gold, of course, in physical form is that it's heavy, it's cumbersome, it's not particularly easy to ship, and it costs money to store in a protected manner. This platform Monetary Metals created is a proven concept and allows gold to be put to productive use. So instead of sitting there costing you money, it's actually in use earning you money.
Learn how you can earn 2 to 5% in our leasing program and how accredited investors can earn up to 12% on silver paid in silver. This advertisement is not investment or financial advice. Minimum investment applies.
Happen.
Absolutely. Now, Alan, recently, Saudi Arabia came out and purchased, a ton of silver, and it was their central bank that purchased silver, but they bought the silver ETF. Why do you think they are going the ETF route, like, SILV, instead of actually purchasing physical silver? Are they not educated on, the dangers of paper silver, or what are your thoughts?
Well, I don't know. I don't claim to know what they're thinking necessarily, so I probably shouldn't, pretend that I have a well-informed opinion on that particular case. But I know that with a lot of big players in general, the ETFs are more attractive because they're more liquid. You can just click a button to buy and sell.
Right.
Of course, if the internet goes down or something like that, you're kind of stuck. But if you're worried about an invasion, right, of your home or of your country, you might not want to have physical inside your borders. You might want to have either a digital or paper product, or you might want to store physical elsewhere. So everything's a trade-off. It sounds like you're implying that, and I agree with you that there's too many digital products relative to physical ounces with the rehypothecation and so forth. So it's like a game of musical chairs, but instead of 100 people and 99 chairs, which is kind of normally how the game is played, and you eliminate one person at a time slowly, it's like there's 100 people and only like two or three chairs. So like, 98, 97 people are going to get eliminated.
Right.
Not a very fun game. So in the case of Saudi Arabia, I'm not sure why they made that decision. It's possible that they went the ETF route just to get off zero, just to get started, and maybe they're going to switch to physical down the road. I don't really know, but
Right.
there's a lot of reasons why you might go one route versus the other.
Absolutely. Now, Alan, before you go, I really want people to connect with you. Where can people follow your work?
Well, personally, you can find me on Twitter or X at Alan Hibbard. And of course, on the Gold Silver YouTube channel is where the vast majority of my content goes. And I actually just released the first episode of a six-part series called Hidden Secrets of Value. So that first episode is the difference between saving and investing. So I consider holding gold, silver, and Bitcoin to be forms of saving. So those are the three things in my portfolio. I don't even think of myself as an investor at all. I'm a saver, and I have three different
Right.
types of money.
Yeah.
So yes, so Gold Silver YouTube channel and Twitter.
No, that's incredible. I highly recommend everyone to go check it out. Alan, such a huge pleasure having you on. I know this is your first time. Hopefully, it's not your last, because there's going to be so many developments in the market and in precious metals. I just feel like it's such an exciting time. So really, really happy having you come down to speak to the silver and gold community here. And as the markets develop, love to have you back.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ivan. Can't wait to come back.
Talk to you soon.